In 1900, Pope Leo XIII passed a decree that said that anybody who wrote about or spoke about the foreskin of Christ would be excommunicated. But why? Why did he feel the need to do that? Jesus' foreskin has been an area. A subject. It has been a subject of intense theological debate and argument for hundreds, thousands of years. So Jesus, being a Jewish fellow, was going to be circumcised 8 days after he was born, which was the 1st of January, and that gave rise to the Feast of Circumcision in the Holy Roman calendar. It's also in the Bible. I think it's Luke, book 2, chapter 21, that says that, and when 8 days were done, the child was circumcised, and he was called Jesus, after the angel who named him when he was conceived in the womb. That's paraphrased, by the way. It doesn't say that exactly. But it tells us 8 days after he was born, and he was called Jesus. Apart from the angel and the Son of God bit, this is pretty standard practice for a Jewish child at this time. As Christianity spreads and the Middle Ages rolls into town, we start to see this trade in religious relics. Relics were physical objects that linked back to biblical stories. So you might get something like, this is a piece of wood that was originally part of the cross that Christ was crucified on. And sometimes you get bodily parts as well. Christ's fingernails were doing the rounds for a while. The milk of Mary, that was a popular one. And Christ's foreskin proved a huge attraction. The story goes that Christ was circumcised and then his mother Mary kept it and put it away and then eventually gave that to Mary Magdalene, who passed it on to various people, and that's how it became a religious relic. But there wasn't just one doing the rounds. In fact, later academic studies would turn up at least 31 different foreskins of Christ's being touted as religious relics across medieval Europe. They turn up in France, they turn up in Vienna, they turn up in Italy, they're just everywhere. And they had some really big fans. The Emperor Charlemagne was said to have owned an original foreskin. King Henry V of England was said to have stolen one from France and it had to be brought back again. And Catherine of Siena was said to have worn a foreskin, Christ's foreskin, around her finger to symbolise her devotion to Christ. And it starts popping up in medieval and Renaissance art all of the time. I float over the gory bit here, perhaps I won't get in trouble for it. But you know, images like this, or like this one, here's another one depicting them doing the deed. And people placed a lot of faith in relics. And one of the maddest things I found while I was researching this particular topic is this. This is according to historian and anthropologist Eric Silverman. A common test for foreskin authenticity in medieval times was taste. Whoa! A physician supervised by a priest sampled the skin for flavour of genuine holiness. The taster was called a croque-pupis, or the foreskin cruncher. Wow. And this also kicked off intense theological debate, split down the middle between those that absolutely believed in the power of this relic and others